Pat, how you doing?
Good, Randy. How's it going, man?
Excellent, thank you. We're really delighted to have you on today. This is episode 121 of Tech Sales Insights. Really excited to have Pat O'Dell, who's a longtime friend, fantastic executive. He's CEO of CPP Associates, a fantastic bar, if it's allowed to still say bar these days, that he's grown over the years so well. And his title topic is applying the 7 habits of success to sales. So definitely be a great one for sure. We're also sponsored, as always, by Sales Community. So for those that are members already, thank you so much. For those that are not, Tucker, I think we'll pull up the link here. You can go to salescommunity.com/springfree, or you can just go to the site and click on the tab that says Spring Free. I recommend doing that one as opposed to the one that you pay. And as always, Tucker is behind the scenes helping out. So Tucker, thank you so much. And then we're also sponsored by Sandler. I guess their logo is supposed to be an E, and kind of interesting. But anyway, so they're a training partner of sales training partner of Sales Community. Everybody's known them, I think, for being around forever, but they've really been kind of revitalized and have some fantastic offerings, and are a key training partner to several of our advisory board members and others certainly in the industry. So Pat, I think we've known each other for probably 35 plus years. Certainly you've managed to keep your hair better than I have, but going back to the days when you're a rep, just kind of awesome and always on it and working it in relationship, and this has been fantastic to see you to grow the business. So always impressed with you. So fantastic job there. Pat lives in a little bit of time in New York, New Jersey, but mostly in Sarasota, Florida. So certainly a great spot. So joining the crowd coming down here to Florida. And besides work and family, he's avid person exercising, working out, and traveling, and then also really a student of the game, kind of reading and kind of improving that way and helping others. And I have also on my phone here, I got some help with some intro comments. So our friend Tom Hidanik, his was a little long-winded, but it was all good. So I didn't want to shorten it up. He says, I've had the privilege of working with Pat and CPP for over 10 years. There are 3 things that immediately stand out: customer first and commitment to excellence, trust and loyalty, outstanding sales and technical expertise that truly become a needed and vital extension of our sales organization. So that's fantastic. These values and principles under Pat's leadership have never wavered, and it's why we've always considered CPP a top go-to partner. I know these values are often overused, written and said, but it becomes clearly evident that when the deal or situation is at its most critical juncture, Pat and his team are front and center, working together to ensure a win-win situation. Whether it was a complex deal structure, investing in the customer, providing technical services, or augmenting our professional services, CPP was always there, no matter what the circumstance, as a trusted and valued partner. So pretty cool there. Tom Hidanik, thanks for that one. Kevin Blaine. Where's Kevin's? Here we go. Oh, here we go. So Kevin says, CPP has been a go-to partner for me for the past 12 years. So when choosing an HP partner to go to market with, CPP is always a top choice. Their approach to business continues to evolve to keep up with the most aggressive industry trends out there. They're one of the few HPE exclusive partners left and continue to be a driving force in HPE's edge to cloud strategy. Whether public, private, or hybrid, CPP can design an industry-leading cloud strategy that suits any customer. I love that tagline.
I think I owe them both some money.
There you go. Well, yeah, you can see. So a couple others. They flat out get it, and their leadership team of Pat and Paul, along with Dan, are instrumental in my team's success year after year. So Kevin Blaine, thank you so much for that one. Paul Hunter, who runs the P&L for North America for HPE, says Pat is one of the industry's great leaders. Having watched him and his brother build a fabulous business and evolve it over time to be both more relevant and more successful is inspiring. His customer relationships and integrity speak louder than his humility will allow. So really, really well said. And Phil Soper here says, Pat is a fabulous partner. He's authentic, direct, and constructive. He does what he says he will do 100% of the time. Super guy too. I'm glad he's an HPE partner, but his golf game needs a lot of work. So maybe we'll put that on your improvement plan for the year. So certainly lots of great commentary there for you, Pat. So let's maybe jump into the questions. So you were a Pitt Panther, graduated in '87. What was your first job out of college?
It was EMC. I think you were already a year or two in. And the funny thing is I knew nothing about computers, had never turned one on, had never sold anything, had other job offers that were 25% higher in pay in different industries that I knew a little bit about. And something told me just go to EMC. I deliberated for about a month, and then I took the job. And you know how impatient the E and the M and EMC were, right? And they were having their teams call me, and that was part of what sold me. They wanted me to join the team, and I'm grateful, knock on wood, to this day. By the way, the other company I almost went to went out of business 6 years later.
There you go. And what was your career trajectory after you started at EMC?
I stayed at EMC off and on for about 7 years. I left I was there from 87 to 89, the end of 89. I left in 89. They were having, as you remember, a lot of trouble with the Guardian products at that point in time. Mm-hmm. So I talked to both the E and the M, Dick Egan and Roger Marino and others, right? Of course, my direct management, and said, listen, I love the concept. I love the vision, but I need to do something on my own. So I started my own little reseller business. And when EMC got back on board, got back up and running. It took about a year, right? Then Symmetrics came out after, started selling the products through the reseller, and then came back and worked there for a stint as well, handling some major accounts. In 1993, I left to focus more on my own business. I did consulting, companies like Amdahl Corporation, Fujitsu, Ernst & Young Division, Capgemini, several other smaller name companies. Did a lot of traveling for business. And then got involved with, various other organizations that were mostly in the storage data management area, either as a consultant of some sort or another. And then, helped Jonathan Jeans, who was the founder of CPP, to grow the company in the late 2000s. So around 2006, 2007, I got involved with CPP as a consultant first, then came on board, and it's been great ever since.
Rest is history, huh?
Basically, still being written.
Awesome. So tell us what, I think we have a good indication from the great intro comments, but tell us what you do.
It is true. The only hardware that we sell today from a storage and server perspective is HPE. And that was a difficult decision at times, but we feel they have the most complete solution set in the industry, and we've always have felt that we'd rather be an expert and among the best in one than to be just good at 2, 3, or 4. So that decision has worked for us. Of course, we also offer a variety of services, cloud, right? I think a couple people there mentioned cloud-based services. So we do a little bit with AWS, but Microsoft is really our key partner. As far as cloud solutions are concerned, Office 365, Azure, et cetera. And, we're involved in some automation. We've done some work with Automation Anywhere, the security organizations, Palo Alto, Fortinet, for example, and our own managed services. So anything that we sell, we can also make sure that it's managed down the line. And that, of course, has been a growing and a profitable business for us. So in a nutshell, our biggest claim to fame was very early on realizing the world was going to be hybrid and do free to low cost assessments that determine where a customer's workload should best reside, and then being able to design, implement, and then manage on the backside.
Awesome. And what type of managed services do you provide?
Really, any of the solutions that we sell, we have the ability through our own internal team or through partners to manage. So that could be anything from hardware to software to services, et cetera.
Oh, awesome. And are you still kind of regional, or kind of what's your geographic footprint?
I like to say, and what's accurate is we proactively market in the Northeast region, maybe the East region, but mostly Northeast. but many of our organizations, right, think of how many corporate headquarters and regional headquarters in New York, New Jersey area. So many times we find ourselves, maybe 30% of the time doing business in different parts of the country, even different parts of the world. One of our global organizations right now has us quoting to do business in Mexico, for example. So, and we're working with another one for India in different locations. So I'd say it's about 25% regional versus the rest of the world.
Wow, awesome. And then kind of walk us through, you're obviously kind of smaller compared to some other folks we have on, but kind of what's your kind of sales org look like, and what's your go to market motion from, how do you get, how do you prospect, with the telemarketers on up to kind of enterprise selling and all that?
We do a lot of the heavy lifting ourselves. We're a little bit old school, but we do work with LinkedIn. We work with a marketing organization called TSRM, who do a fabulous job for us. We try to differentiate a little bit, right? I looked at one point, I think there's something like 50,000 VARs, people that do similar things as us in North America, right?
80,000.
80. So you would know better than me, right? So 80,000, right? So to try to differentiate, we really like to stay focused on, well, first of all, myself and Paul are still very involved with clients. Between the two of us, we probably touch on a regular basis, not just from an executive standpoint, but from an actual carrying the ball on 30 to 40% of our major clients, right? So we still sell. That's the first thing. The second thing we do is we have a very strong technical to sales team ratio. It's anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 to 1 technical to sales. And we've been able to maintain that for the greater part of a decade. That's a very expensive model, but it's a model that our clients love. They really appreciate it. It gives us extra bandwidth to do things like those low cost or sometimes free assessments that I just mentioned. We call them infrastructure anywhere. And they were very, very helpful to our clients. And they would expect to pay $20,000 to $30,000 from one of the big consulting organizations, and we're charging in that $5,000 to $10,000 range. And if we feel there's enough business potential and we feel that the people are sincere in working with us, we'll do it as part of the table stakes to get into the business.
Awesome. Very cool. And there's a comment here, I guess, from Dean saying, thanks, Tucker. So Tucker obviously did something for Dean. But for those that are watching along, certainly feel free to interject with any comments or any questions here along the way. And Pat, we'll get to them for you. So always appreciate that. So our title topic is applying the 7 habits of success to successful sales. And certainly, on the one hand, an obvious topic, but one that has not come up at all since the time we've been doing this. Why are you so passionate about those?
Well, I wanted to, let me start by saying, I think that a confused mind does nothing, right? So that's been my experience in sales and life in general. So I wanted to take as my main framework, and I've applied this to my own life. And then the people, my children, I think one of them might be on the call here today, and people I've led, they all know that I swear by this. And it came out in 1989, the book by Stephen Covey.
We got to give a shout out. So which one of your, I was not going to say kids, if you're allowed to say kids anymore, but which one of your children's on?
My son Ryan, I think, might be on the call.
Oh,
but
awesome.
And Ryan, don't say anything bad about how many times I've talked to you about this. But in any case, it needed to be simple. Right? It needed to be something that was simple and intuitive, right? Because confused mind doesn't do much, right? So I find these to be very, very intuitive, very simple as we go through them. It'll be obvious if you're not aware of them. Probably most people on the call already are aware of them. And then secondarily, for me anyway, I wanted something that didn't just apply to sales, right? Because we're all much more than salespeople, even if we're a salesperson, right? We're business people, we're parents, we're significant others. We're trying to take care of our health. So I wanted a framework that would apply to more than just sales in my life. And I feel that this does it as good or better than anything else that I've